And welcome everybody, and it's great for me to be able to share my knowledge tonight. And you must excuse me because often I talk in scientific terms, but I'm scientifically trained. I work as an anaesthetist, but I have a passion for science and now for natural health. And so what I want to do tonight is to go over these products, what they are, why they're different and how they're different, how we actually take them, and why we shouldn't take them. So there's going to be a little bit of toing and froing with the products, and I hope this will just give you a little bit of an overview about what special products we actually have. Now, all of these products are based on a science called nutrigenomics. And if we break that down, it means nutrition affecting your genetic pathways. So natural compounds, which are actually acting in your cells to switch on switches that go off to sleep as you go age. And we all know that as you age, you get the wrinkles, you get the sore joints, you get the creakiness. And that's because your genes don't function as well. It's like an old engine. It starts to just get a little bit rusty. And what these products are doing is getting you back to a new engine again. So that's why they are phenomenal. I've got a big thing there. First of all, I want to talk about the Protandim NRF2. Now, this is the flagship product. It's a little yellow tablet here. It's been around since 2003, so it's got a lot of experience. Now, this magic little tablet is made up of 5 natural ingredients. It's got green tea. We know it's a great antioxidant. It's got turmeric, great anti-inflammatory. We've got ashwagandha and bacopa, which are great for mental clarity, focus, hormonal balance, and milk thistle, which is a great liver cleanser. So how does this work? What does this do? And how do we know that a tablet like this will have an effect on your total body? Well, we've got huge science behind it. And what that huge science behind it shows us is that this little yellow tablet actually activates pathways that have gone off to sleep. So it activates a pathway called the NRF2 pathway. So although it's a natural supplement, it's actually working as a genetic activator. And the really good thing about this is it turns on anti-inflammatory genes, antioxidant enzymes. So you actually make all of those again in your cells. You make your own antioxidant enzymes. It's not like taking blueberries or taking red wine or lots of vitamin C. You're actually making your own. So the power is incredible because that's in every single cell of your body. So that's the NRF2 pathway. And that's the one that I think everybody should be on because everybody has what we call oxidative stress. And that's when you have oxygen-free radicals that damage your cells. So what this does is it counteracts that. And we all want to counteract oxygen-free radicals because they're not nice for our cells and they are one of the big contributors to aging. That's not the only genetic pathway. And this company is focused on looking at genetic pathways and how we can stimulate them naturally and have research behind them. So the next one I want to talk about is the NRF1, and comes in the silver label, and that's little capsules, sort of brown capsules. This works at the mitochondria, which are the bean-like structures within your cells, and these are responsible for energy or ATP production. And this has got a whole lot of ingredients in it, all natural, which actually stimulate the mitochondria to work better, connect better, and produce more. And energy is really important in cells. So that's got in it acetyl-L-carnitine. It's a really good amino acid. It's got quercetin, which is great for ATP production, as well as alpha-lipoic acid, coenzyme Q10, and a bit of grape extract as well. Now, I forgot to mention for the Protandim, because I am going to go through how to take these products, because I think that's also very important. So when you're taking this product, I recommend to take it in the morning before breakfast with some sort of fat or oil. Why? Because it's better absorbed with the fat and oil. And what better way of taking it is with an omega, which has got a huge amount of D3, omega, EPA, DHA in it as well. So that's the Life Vantage Omega. And that's a really great combo to be able to get the absorption for the Protandim NRF2. And that comes in little little capsule you can see there. It's a really nice omega. It doesn't taste fishy at all. You don't get burp back. It's very pleasant to taste, and it's very, very palatable. So that's how I recommend take the NRF2. Now, you may well have been recommended to take what they call the dual synergizer, which is the NRF1 and the NRF2. Now, these two work together, so they even amplify each other. It's what we call synergy. So they amplify the effects, the antioxidant effects, the mitochondrial effects, the making all the antioxidant enzymes. So you may well be started on a dual synergizer. Now, for our pièce de résistance, for the genetic activators, we now have, both in Australia and New Zealand, NAD. Now, NAD is essential for life. You'll be hearing a lot more about NAD and the way that it's a very important molecule. This is not just supplementing NAD. This is actually helping you make your own NAD and recycling NAD by a specific pathway called the sirtuin pathway, but you don't need to know about that. So now we can get this in Australia. We've been able to get it in New Zealand for some time now. The formulation is just a little bit different in Australia as it is in New Zealand. It comes in a capsule as well, and a little white capsule. When you're taking NAD and when you start NAD, and you often will be taking this as what we call a tri-synergizer. Let's get the labels all nicely done. So the tri-synergizer is all three of them, okay? And that will give you maximum cellular health because you are targeting specific cellular pathways, very different cellular pathways. So that's magical for cellular health. With NAD, just take it slowly. What I often do with people is to introduce maybe one product at a time, just to make sure that their body can adjust to it. Because our body is full of a lot of stuff that we've accumulated over the years. And what I say to people is, don't think that this is going to be a quick fix. This is not, I'm going to try it for a month and then I'll be okay. 1 month per decade at least. Okay, so if you want to give this a fair go, you trial it for 1 month per decade. So if you're 40, 4 months, 50, 5 months, 60, 6 months. Why is that? Because the older you are, the more that you've accumulated within your cells, and it takes longer to get that machinery up and running again. You can imagine an old car machine. When it's old and it's done 300,000 Ks, you can't just put a little bit of petrol in and expect it to be like it was brand new. You've got to get it renovated again. And that's what you're doing to your cells. You're renovating your cells so that they can work as you were when you were younger. So that is the tri-synergizer. And I really think that if you can, go straight onto the tri-synergizer, but just introduce one at a time if you possibly can, because then you can get your body to adjust to them. It's all about body adjustment to these, because these are not just supplements that we're taking, because we're actually getting the body to do the work. We're healing the body itself. So the body is actually doing the work. Now, to support that body doing the work, you've actually got to have a good water intake. And I say probably start off with about 2 liters a day. Why? Because that flushes out a lot of the rubbish that's in your cells, and it really helps with the activation process. So we're activating to switch on cells, to switch on cellular pathways. It's activation, natural supplementation, but we're activating and switching on genetic switches. Okay, next I want to talk about the ProBio. Now, a lot of people take ProBios, and we know that gut health is really important because there is a gut-brain axis, and we're seeing a lot of conditions these days that are affecting the brain. The brain's got a very high energy requirement, and it also doesn't like poisons or toxins that are introduced to it. Why is this ProBio different? It's different because you don't have to keep it in the fridge, number one. Number two, it's got a capsule on it which can actually get through the stomach. Now, the stomach is particularly acidic, and most of the probiotics on the market will get broken down within the stomach before they get to where they need to go in your intestine. So what you want to do is to have the appropriate number, the appropriate type of bacteria to be able to get to the gut. So when you have something like NRF2, which decreases inflammation in the gut, and you have a probio, then you're setting yourself up for really good gut health. And if you have a look at the websites, you will see that what we've done is we've put things together to maximize what you want to address the most, whether that be heart health, whether that be immune health, whether that be gut health. So that will give you an idea of what combination of the products would be ideal and suited for what you want. In terms of immune health, we have a drink which is called Daily Wellness, unfortunately only available in New Zealand, not in Australia. And this is a really delicious immune support drink, which gives you a huge amount of extra vitamins and minerals that you need to keep that immune system up and running. So what we are going to do is put products together that are going to target what you actually need for whatever you want to address in your body. So for some people, it might be anti-inflammatory. For some other people, they just want to be preventative. And we all are about preventative health. It's all about living well and aging well. And it's all about lifespan that is healthy. So we call that a health span. So it's no use going to your 80 and 90 and you're disabled and you have to use a walker. If you can be sprightly and do everything you want to do at that age, well, that's what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to achieve health, and we're trying to achieve health naturally, and we're trying to achieve health that you can actually do it yourself because you're using your whole body to do the work. Now, the really, really exciting thing comes next, because we've had two incredible products which have just come to Australia and New Zealand. And the first one I want to talk about is Axio. That's this one here. Axio Red Raspberry has just launched in Australia and New Zealand. It comes in little sachets like this. It's a brain food. And we know that the brain requires a lot of energy, and it requires a lot of vitamins and minerals to make those neuronal connections, which are the ones that sort of have electrical connections where the brain sparks off to give you mental focus, to give you mental clarity, to get you through the day, to be able to focus however you want. Axio is what we call a nootropic, which means that it's giving your brain the best ability. It's food for your brain. It's best taken outside your other products. So I wouldn't take it with the NRF2 because it might well interfere with that. Take it maybe mid-morning or afternoon when you're having a little bit of a slump. It does give you a great pick-me-up. It doesn't give you an energy high than an energy crash at all. So the Axio it's incredibly pleasant to taste, and it's brain food. It's a really nice thing to have during your working day, so just to keep you going. And I know a lot of the people in the health profession are actually taking Axio on a regular basis because it just keeps them going. Now, the most fascinating thing, and the one that I'm just so incredibly excited about, and I'm sorry, Australia, but you haven't got it quite yet, but next year, New Zealand can get this on an NFR process. This is the LifeVantage Liquid Collagen. And this is the only collagen in the world that actually activates your collagen. So again, in concert with the whole of the range of the products, the nutrigenomic products, what this does is it activates collagen production, as well as maintaining and as well as replenishing. It is the only one on the market. We are getting such incredible results that it's just sold out 2 or 3 times already. I know that people in Australia are just chomping at the bit to get it. And I tell you what, New Zealanders are just taking it by storm. It is absolutely fantastic. So that's the range of products that I wanted to cover tonight. And the most important thing is people say to me, well, what do I do with all my other medications? With these products, it's best to take them by themselves rather and keep them away from your other medications so they get maximum chance of being absorbed. So I suggest take them in the morning before breakfast, then have your breakfast. Maybe take your NRF1 first, that's the NRF1, and then take your NRF2 with some omega, and then your NAD. But feel into what your body says. And I don't make hard and fast rules, but I give guidance, because you've got to actually see what your body is doing and how it's adjusting. And do you need to cut back, or are you okay with that? Would it be better for you to take them at night? Feel into what is going to be best for you. What are the contraindications? Who can't take these? Well, anyone who's on active chemotherapy or radiotherapy, I always say, wait until all of that is finished before you start these products or recommence these products. Why? Because those type of therapies rely on damping down all of the inflammatory processes. So they're doing the opposite of what we're wanting to achieve with Protandim. The other one is organ replacement. So usually they're on suppressing drugs. So if they've had an organ replacement or they're on active chemo or radio, those are the only two major contraindications. Obviously, if they're allergic, and I mean anaphylactic allergic, not just a gut problem with one of the ingredients, then that also is a contraindication. But for me, it's often working through that process. What we find with the Protandim NRF2 is that people will often get a little bit of gut upset when they first started, or they might get headaches. That doesn't usually last very long, and it's what we call the body's actually just getting used to the activation. If you have plenty of water, you flush it through, it really is short lasting. I have had some people who have had to cut it back to half a day, and some people even half a tablet every second day. So again, you've got to feel into what that process is doing for you and adjust it accordingly. But the person who's working with you will guide you through whatever you need to do as far as that's concerned. I think that's probably all I wanted to cover, Julie, in terms of the, how to take them. But I'm happy to answer any questions. If you can just feed me the questions, and I'll take them one at a time.